I have been blessed to work with some wonderful entrepreneurs in Ghana. These were smart and hardworking people, and they all treated me very well. I owe a lot to all of them because each of them, consciously or unconsciously, taught me a lot about success and money. This morning, I want to share with you what I learned from some of them in the 90s when I worked for them. I'm going to focus on two husband and wife teams. These are husbands and wives who work very closely daily as partners and still manage to build great marriages. The first of these two husband and wife teams is the Dazis. That is Mr. K.T. Dazi and Gifty Afenyi Dazi. Mr. K.T. Dazi is one of the smartest men I have ever met, and yet there was no malice nor guile in him. He was straight in his dealings with everyone, and I watched and studied him closely. Katie, as we called him, together with his wife Gifty, started with one forest bureau and grew it to 4 at the time when I was working with them in the 90s. And then they had added a remittance company to their portfolio later. Katie treated his wife as his business partner, and the two managed to separate their marriage from their business. The next wonderful husband and wife team I worked with in the 90s was the Insiapokus, that is Mr. Kofi Insiapoku and Florence, his wife. This was and is still another very successful husband and wife team. Kofi will tell you that he had no friend apart from his wife, and it was true. His wife was his best friend. His relationship with his wife was of the best quality, and I believe still is. Like the Dazis, this couple have also managed to keep their business separate from their marriage. At home, Florence called her husband Kofi, but at the office, she called him director. She was consistent with it. You will hear Florence call the husband Kofi in the office. It was always director. As I said earlier, from these couples, I learned a lot, and this morning, I want to share a few of those lessons with you relating to how to build and run a successful business in Ghana. Lesson number 1. Hi, my name is James Whyte. Kindly subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button. Thank you. Be willing to start small. Katie and Gifty started small. They began with one forest bureau and grew that into 4 when I was working with them, and then they added a remittance company. Kofi began with producing mixtures from his father's garage and patiently grew that into a major all-round pharmaceutical company with retail, wholesale, and a factory. If these two couples had waited to start big, I don't think they would ever have started. So the lesson I learned from them for business is start with what you have and grow it patiently. Lesson number 2, respect money and watch your expenditure. One feature of people who will never be rich is that they do not respect money, and so they do not think twice before spending money. And because they do not respect money, poor people tend to spend more money than they make. That is not the case of the successful entrepreneurs that I worked with. Katie did not waste money. For him, even a peso had value. This was a man who at one point could have afforded to eat at a restaurant every day, but he would carry his lunch from home to the office every day. He and his wife lived in a small flat for years and did not rush to move into a bigger house until they had built the business to a certain level. Kofi and Florence lived in a small boys' quarters at Kisima while they built a multi-story pharmaceutical company. Many businessmen would have finished their house first, but Kofi insisted on finishing the factory whilst living in that small boys' quarters. In fact, both Katie and Kofi at various times said words to this effect. Mr. Whyte, we are not competing with anyone else. The lesson, respect money and don't spend more than you make. Live within your means. It's a conventional wisdom, but successful people know that it is better to live below your means. Lesson number 3. Hi, my name is James Whyte. Kindly subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button. Thank you. Be firm. Katie, like Kofi, knew when and how to be firm. And you need to be firm to build any business of any significance in Ghana. And these two men mastered the act of being firm when they needed to. The two men and their wives were never rude to any staff member. In fact, in the days I worked with Kofi, if you saw him relating to us, that is his workers, you would not know that he was the boss. But we all knew never to drop the ball as far as the business was concerned. Kofi loved to say that as long as everyone delivered the results expected of them, then we could have fun working together. but he was not going to allow anyone to destroy the future of a company that he expected to be the source of employment for many. Lesson number 4, work hard and keep your eyes on the business. I know businessmen and women who leave their businesses to attend to all kinds of things. Not these two former bosses of mine. Both of them were the hardest working people in the company. Both of them put in more hours than any of us. And both of them had no time for activities that would take them off their businesses. They were present. They were involved in the business. And they had their eyes firmly on the business. Lesson number 5, have integrity. Both Kofi and Katie had integrity. They were both keen on operating according to the law and the regulations governing their sector. Kofi told me several times when I was working with him, "Mr. Whyte, I want to go to heaven, so I don't want to break the rules." Once when Katie was offered a way of evading tax, he said to me, "Mr. Whyte, let us pay what is our due. Ghana needs the money." Lesson number 6, keep investing in the business. Katie and Kofi were both investors and not consumers. They did not spend much on themselves, but put everything back into the business. I remember when Kofi told me this story, when he was a student, he traveled abroad to work during vacation. Whilst his mates spent their money buying jeans and sneakers, he saved everything and bought over-the-counter drugs to come and sell in Ghana. They were investors, not consumers. Number 7, find a way of surviving adversity. In other words, be resilient. The businessman and woman in Ghana needs to learn to deal with adversity. In Ghana, the entrepreneur's biggest opponent is the government and government agencies. And this is not a new thing. It goes way back. Our system targets businessmen and women who are doing well. As soon as you grow beyond a certain point, you can be sure that government or government agencies will target you with the aim of destroying you. Katie was targeted in the 90s when I was working with him. Kofi was actually arrested and detained on false charges by the government of the day at one time. But these men did not let adversity stop them. Yes, it took a toll on them, but they did not give up. The lesson, if you operate in Ghana, you need to develop real good shock absorbers because you will need them. I thank God for all the entrepreneurs who not only employed me when I needed a job, but allowed me to learn from them. May God bless all of them. Hi, my name is James Whyte. Kindly subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button. Thank you.